market. So what we do is take the organic agriculture practices to the farmers who say we don't have markets for the organic products. So what we do is unlocking the mind first, them accepting that the market is there, produce it, we shall market it for you. And not only that, we shall provide the inputs, organic agriculture inputs. These are organic fertilizers that we do, the consultants, the knowledge dissemination, because we want our farmer to access that market. It is there.
So how many farmers are we looking at in that particular scale, the ones who are coming through for training, and you're equally giving them a market share that is more like a platform? How many are we looking at?
We are looking, because Memago is Mende, Masulita, and Gombe Agroecology Group. So we are looking at, we started with 3 sub-counties with over 200 farmers. So we are working at a span of more than 200 farmers to consolidate their efforts to bring to the market whatever they can produce.
If I go online, do I search for Memago Agroecology?
Exactly, www.memago.agroecology.com, or find us on Twitter at memago.agroecology.
Well, there you have. That is Kakande, who happens to be their CEO, Albert there. Good morning.
There is a gentleman here. I'm with Kakande.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you, Sebo?
I'm fine. What's your name?
Edward Sebo, Fulbenga, retired lieutenant.
Edward, Lieutenant Jamba Fande. So what do you do? This is good. Retirement, but still in action.
I was trained by Afari to add value on our food products.
Okay.
So we decided to specialize in wine making.
Winemaking?
Because it has no expiry date known to mankind.
Okay.
And it serves many purposes. Because the wine, when you take a wine when you have diabetes, the sugar levels balance. Okay. Those with stomach disorder or indigestion, when you take it after meals, the digestive system stabilizes.
Afande, what are some of the challenges you're facing in the line of the ecological barriers as someone who is adding value and in business of the agroecology?
Okay, the challenge is that we hear of so many food scientists who graduate from universities from Uganda. But when it comes to the grassroots, they are not there to be seen, because they are the one who should prepare us for UNBS certification. But now it is very UNBS is reluctant in certifying our product. Okay. So because of lack of those food scientists.
What does UNBS tell you when you go for certification? What do they tell you?
No, they certified the label, but their certification is reluctant. Exactly, but the label.
The process is hectic. Yeah. Well then, so if you're one of those Ugandans who loves to drink wine, the wine is called Global Sweet Tropical Wine by Afande here. Just take the footage. I want this picture to appear on screen there. That's Afande holding a bottle right from the military into retirement, and he's doing ecological farming. Well done, Afande.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, nice.
Oh my God, Caritas, justice and peace. We're at Caritas here, and we're seeing organic farmers market. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hold your mic. You're going to stand next to your stand here? Every Saturday there is a market between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Where exactly is this market?
The market takes place at Caritas, Kampala. That is in Zambia, behind the American Embassy, just adjacent to it.
I've seen it there.
Yes.
Organic only.
Only organic products.
Tell us about the Caritas organic farmers kind of grouping.
This is a market that was started last year after realizing that farmers had organic products, but there were no specific markets for these products. So we thought, what could we do? And we came up with this market because in that market there are only organic products. And we think and hope that maybe in the future, as we create more awareness about these organic products and people get to know about them, even farmers would be offered premium prices for their organic products, because the way they are produced and made is different from those other products, because they are healthy products. So that is how the market started, and we started with a few farmers who we train through the participatory guarantee system that gives the consumer confidence that the products are organic, because it is the farmers themselves who make their standard, which they document into a file, and this consumer who comes can use that file to act as an organic temporary certificate for their products.
And what have you seen ever since the market started? Has it expanded? Is the demand growing? And is the supply, in one or the other, in one way, growing steadily?
The demand is constant because the farmers are there who have their products, but the demand is not yet growing because we are still in the early stage of creating awareness, which PELUM is helping us with a lot because they have done that, but we are still lacking in more awareness creation among the consumers and the public to appreciate these products and support these farmers. So that is where we are still lacking, but the products are in plenty everywhere now.
Thank you so much. So, pass by the Caritas Market every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's at Cardinal Subuga Leadership Training Center in Zambia after the American Embassy. And make sure you actually go there. If you're one of the farmers and you want to get a stall, possibly give them a call on those numbers you see on the screen, and you can get some business worked out there. What are you doing? KHEA. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, we are at the Knowledge Hub for organic agriculture in Eastern Africa. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you? My name is Magino Pamela.
Pamela, what do you do at the Knowledge Hub?
We basically create awareness on good organic farming practices, and we share this knowledge with different stakeholders. But at the end goal is what we want is the farmers to benefit this knowledge.
Do you train the farmers? Do you go on ground and you train the farmers? If you do, what do you see when you get on ground?
Of course, when you get to the ground, you notice that some of these people do not have the knowledge. So we work with different stakeholders, especially the multipliers who are trained on the project. So we go down with the multipliers to the ground and we train these farmers, provide them with the knowledge and expose them to the different markets, especially the organic markets, because we've noticed this is a major challenge that comes out.
And what is this kind of exhibition today and this kind of summit, the Yalta, what does it mean to the KHEA there?
I think it's really, really essential for us because, like I said, one issue that comes out is low access to markets. So for us, AMASE is a beautiful event, and it's interesting that we are seeing many stakeholders that have exhibited here are some of the people that we keep engaging through the project. So for us, we are happy that the farmers who are raising concerns about low access to markets can actually come and attend the Agroecological Market Expo event to get to know the different stakeholders and also have access to the market.
Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to take a break from our going around because our chief guest is already here and he's already in the place. I'm going to request that we all, if we could just give some attention, if we could just get some attention, the ones who are up and above. I really want to thank all the exhibitors for what you've done tremendously. The knowledge I've picked on that side, the knowledge I've picked from my trails is immense. And we have the minister, the Honorable Minister of the State Minister of Agriculture is here with us. I'm going to request that we all get ready to welcome the minister before he actually goes through the entire exhibition. Our teams kindly just get ready that we can receive the minister and he will talk to us and thereafter he will go through the entire exhibition. So for now, let's all be on standby as and when the minister comes through. We are going to welcome him with a round of applause, of course, and thereafter he will address us to this need and the subject matter. He will go through the trails of the exhibitions and we shall have a group photo, and by God's grace, lunch will be here ready. But for now, let's wait. The Honorable Minister of State, Honorable Ntabazi, the State Minister for Trade and Industry, is coming through. We're having a minister go through the different exhibitions there. Slowly by slowly, they're coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. Our State Minister for State of State for Trade is here with us. Round of applause. Round of applause for Minister Izia Banange. You're most welcome, Honorable. This is what it is. The Minister is going to go through the entire exhibition slowly, bit by bit, and thereafter she will address us, and we shall proceed. Because I was like, so that means it is Josephine to come and welcome the minister. Hey. Kale. Nakyusiza dda kasita mulabye wali ku screen. Josh. Namanda. Namanda. Hello. Ogamba nkuwulira ossabuusa kiki ekigenda mu maaso? Oli bulungi? Tolina tabu? How is my daughter? Bambi alina okukoowa. Waliwo olumotoka ng'okooye. And again we still Ladies and gentlemen, can I request for your attention, please? The ones who are upstairs, you don't need to leave your stalls, just face this side. Just face this side, it will be easier. Like that, like that. I want to request for your attention. Before us, we have the State Minister for Trade and Industry and Cooperatives in our country, Honorable Ntabazi Harriet. Round of applause for the Honorable Minister. Good to have you. And Honorable Minister, before you give your honorary speech, allow me welcome the ED of Nogamo, who happens to be an authority in this space, Chariton Namuwoza, who is going to give us a little bit of the participatory guarantee systems, a user guide for the farmers groups, so that you can make sense of it, and thereafter we shall have much more. Let me welcome Chariton Namuwoza to come and address us on this. Let's clap for him as he comes. Show some love.
Thank you, my brother, the Honorable Minister, State Minister for Trade, my big sister, Honorable Tabazi, my sister and friend, the country coordinator of PELUM, Josephine, KHEA, distinguished guests who are here today, all exhibitors and visitors of what we have dubbed as the first Agroecological Market Systems Expo. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. Is it morning or afternoon? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to make a few highlights about the participatory guarantee system. But before I do that, let me introduce myself very well. My name is Chariton Namuwoza. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the National Organic Agriculture Movement of Uganda, commonly known as NOGAM, the umbrella organization that brings together all stakeholders in the organic sector in Uganda. We're talking about producers, farmers that grow the organic products. We are talking about processors that add value to what producers sell to them. We're talking about local traders, but also exporters who trade outside Uganda. Within our organization, we have 360 plus corporate organizations in different categories, and we have over 2 million smallholder farmers who are practicing organic agriculture. Can someone move the slides, please? So, in this presentation, I would like to make a few highlights, given the time constraint, Honorable Minister, about the background of PGS in Uganda. I'll try to draw a line between what we call second-party certification, which is PGS, and third-party certification. How does one attain organic certification? Because we're talking about a structured, well-organized and established market. How do you tap into that market? You need certification. And there are two major recognized schemes of certification. There is the PGS, which we call second-party certification, and then the third-party certification. I'll briefly touch on those. And then I'll briefly touch about the structure and governance of PGS, very briefly, and I'll conclude. And I promise you, in the next few minutes, I'll be done. Move the slides, please. That was just to highlight what NOGAM is about, but maybe to conclude that slide, we have been in existence. Excellent. What's your name, sir? I would like to put you on record. What's your name? He has pointed me to the slides which are just before me. Thank you, Alan. So the last point on that slide is that we've been in existence for over 20 years. We were founded in 2001, and our mandate is to coordinate all actors towards organic agriculture development in Uganda. Next slide, please. We have 4 core areas that we focus on. There is local, regional, and international marketing, because all our members, farmers, processors, and exporters are looking for markets. It does not end with production. Production and the system for production is only a means to an end. Farmers want to put money into their pockets, processors want to make money, and exporters want to make money. So that's why we focus on that pillar. The second one is standards and certification. How do you ensure that you attain the certification, which is a marketing tool that takes you to the market? The other pillar is training, research, and extension, and then advocacy and strategic relations. Next slide, please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we saw the third-party certification coming into place, we already had what we call the participatory guarantee system. It was informal. Farmers and actors had a way of verifying that this product has been produced organically or agroecologically. It existed in the 70s, in the 80s. It was very clear up to that time. Farmers had a way of verifying what they considered as organic or agroecological products. Now, clearly from what we have seen, and Honorable Minister, we commissioned a study recently by Makerere University to establish the current status of organic agriculture in Uganda. Look at the total number of farmers who are certified organic, look at the land acreage, look at the different actors, the traders who are buying, and all other issues as we've always wanted to know them. And this study was concluded, and we'll be launching very, very soon. We'll be sharing a report of the latest organic statistics in Uganda. But just to highlight, Uganda, our country, our motherland, is the country with the second highest number of certified farmers in the world, according to the research organization for organic agriculture, which is based in Switzerland. The second highest in the world, and the number 1 in Africa. You'll also note that despite the fact that most of the Ugandan farmers are organic by default, many of them are excluded from tapping into this market. And the reason is very clear. It's the high cost of certification. And the high cost of certification is what triggered the recognition of other forms of certification that would enable farmers and consumers to be included. Consumers to be able to tap into this market, but producers to tap into this market, but also consumers, low-cost consumers, to be able to eat an organic product. Because it's not only for the rich. And this narrative has changed, that organic is only for the rich. We have changed that narrative, and we've demonstrated that organic is not only for the rich, and as you'll be seeing. So the question is, how do we get farmers and consumers into the organic space? Farmers that cannot afford to buy an organic tomato, which has been produced organically, how else would they get that tomato from their neighbor who is growing it organically? Next slide, please. So we have an organization, an international organization that we subscribe to, which is the global umbrella body for all organic movements in the world. It's called the International Organic Agriculture Movement, which is headquartered in Germany. In 2008, they defined what now we call the participatory guarantee system. But before that, there is a conference that took place in Brazil in 2004. And at that conference, without wasting time, there was full recognition of the participatory guarantee system as a scheme of certification through which smallholder farmers would be certified. And IFOAM defines PGS as locally focused quality management systems that entail the certification of producers through the active participation of 4 major stakeholders: farmers themselves, then consumers, agriculture extensionists who train farmers, and then the local leaders. And I want to assure you, Honorable Minister, and the distinguished guests here, that certification through this system would be complete with those 4 stakeholders. So you don't need a third party to come and check what this group of farmers is doing. It is very clear that whatever the farmers do, together with those other stakeholders, the extensionists, the local leaders, and consumers, would lead to what we call the PGS certification that I'll be talking about later on. So it is built on the foundation of trust, social networks, and exchange of knowledge. And so it empowers the farmer. There is free knowledge sharing, and that helps them to understand if there is anything more they have to do. Next slide, please. It is locally adapted, and what we have noted over the years is that each PGS is unique. It has unique features, unique characteristics. The PGS in Mbale might be operating differently compared to the PGS in Mbarara, because the PGS in Mbale might be focusing on coffee and banana, whereas the PGS in Mbarara might be focusing mostly on banana and dairy. And all the interventions and practices are around those two. So in the kind of structure and how they are organized and the way they do their things might not be the same way that the PGS in Mbale is operating. And as I said, there is now full recognition at the international level. He has added me more 5 minutes. Thank you very much. At that level, you can see that farmers will do everything to comply with the standard, either the Uganda Organic Standard or the East African Organic Product Standard. Because PGS, unlike third party, focuses just on the local or domestic markets. You're not going to sell your product to the international market with a PGS certification. Next slide, please. Try to move the slides fast. So I would like to highlight the key elements in the PGS certification. There's a shared vision, so farmers must know what they are aiming at. There is stakeholder participation, there is transparency, there is trust, the principle of horizontality, where there are no hierarchies. They are all at the same level, and they are democratically organized and running their affairs. And there is national networking. Next slide, please. I'm now going to run at a supersonic speed. PGS second-party certification is different from third-party certification. In third-party certification, an accredited body, international body, must come and audit your practices. In the PGS, it's the farmers and the other 3 stakeholders that I mentioned that are involved in the verification of their practices. And they identify the gaps, which they then develop an action plan for to be able to address any gaps that relate to, let's say, non-compliances against a particular standard. And there is increased capacity building as farmers are more involved with knowledge sharing. There is better marketing. PGS do everything up to the market. In the third-party certification, the companies that pay for international certification do the trading. So the difference is that the PGS value chains are shorter compared to the international value chains, because the farmer is like the 4th in the chain, whereas in the PGS, the farmer is directly involved in trading. So they actually capture more value. And they're focused, as I said, on the local and regional markets. The third-party certification is mostly recognized at the international level. The smallholder farmers at the PGS level are the ones who hold the certificate. In the third-party certification, the export company that trades internationally is the holder of the certificate. So that's the difference. So a farmer would feel more organic, recognized as organic under the PGS compared to the third-party certification. Next slide, please. I'm about to conclude. I think I'm remaining with 2 minutes. So the governance looks like that. In every country, the national organic agriculture movements like Uganda are the ones that facilitate the process of certification. They ratify the decisions of the farmers because the certification is by the farmers, are those stakeholders. So NOGAM only facilitates that process and ratifies the decisions of the farmers relating to certification. And there are different structures. You can have a national PGS council, regional PGS council, farmer groups, and others that would help to run this system. Next slide, please. Next. Next, please. I would like to conclude, Honorable Minister. Clearly, there is a big opportunity in growing organic and agroecological products because the market is huge and growing day by day for 3 reasons. Consumers are increasingly getting concerned about their food safety, their health, the environment, and issues that touch on both humans and the other members of the ecosystem. And that demands that we must do everything possible to tap into that market. We have seen that market also, we've seen that trend also at the local level. You see mushrooming supermarkets that have a focus on organic products, health shops, organic farmers market that, like the one we run every week at Insambia, and there's also a daily organic farmers market on Entebbe Road at Abaita Babiri, and many others that are coming up, which reflect that the demand for organic products and agroecological products is huge and growing. There is now a number of suppliers of organic inputs. Previously, we would struggle to grow organic products, agroecological products. But as you've seen and as you've toured, we have suppliers of organic inputs, fertilizers, pesticides, fungicides, name it. So you can actually grow difficult crops like tomatoes and get huge yields. And we also have, because of climate change, we have now what we call micro-irrigation kits. Our organization has a partnership with an international organization that supplies micro-irrigation kits that cost about $200, only $200. And that can enable a farmer to produce throughout the year. We have an improving regulatory environment following the approval of the National Organic Agriculture Policy, and we are now working on developing a bill which will obviously be signed into law, we hope. And so PGS is the best way of including farmers and low-income consumers. Let's support PGS. We'll catapult Uganda from this level of being the country with the second highest number of certified farmers in the world to the first position. We'll beat India, because at some point we're beating India. India overtook us because of PGS. If we take care of whatever PGS requires us to do, we will take Uganda to a higher level. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Honorable Minister, you'll bear with me as farmers. When we see you, we get excited. And a couple of minutes will be lost in the conversation. But what he was alluding to, this guide that has been printed, it is intended to have the different ecological organic farmers within their farmers groups, and they wish to establish and implement the PGS as a quality assurance tool, just to make sure that we meet the international standards. And the aim is to improve the quality and increase access to agroecological markets, which may transform into certification for export, like you saw within the stocks there, and the international markets. Thank you so much, Chariton Namwoza. You really came into my time, but we'll actually take that for another time. Ladies and gentlemen, and those following this conversation online, allow me welcome the country director, rather coordinator of PELUM Uganda, Mrs. Luyimbazi Josephine KHEA, to invite our guest of honor to address us about this particular agenda we are having today.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Good afternoon, all the members present in this expo. Our chief guest, our Minister of State, Honorable Harriet Ntabazi, thank you so much for honoring our invite. It was only last week when we met her, asked us very many questions, educated us on the difference between an expo, a summit, a symposium, and we are better, Honorable Minister. And the other question she challenged us was, how big are you? Are you big? Are you small? And at least as we're walking through the stalls, I'm happy to share that she acknowledged that we are bigger. Our guests, amidst us that are present, are representatives from the Netherland Food Partnership, Bente and Ibrahim. Thank you so much for being with us and supporting this expo. Our country board chairperson, Dr. Christopher Cheswa, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. The different members that are exhibiting within the expo, the agro-processors, the youth entrepreneurs, the business experts, the consumers have also walked in, the legal institutions, the certification bodies, the financial institutions, the PGS groups, our exporters, the farmers, and not forgetting the youth. Thank you so much for coming in. Our different representatives from the Ministry of Trade. I know you're very many here. Forgive me for not mentioning your names, but thank you so much for coming in and joining us on this journey. Honorable Minister, this is our very first baby, the Agroecology Market and Systems Expo. We shall revisit the name later. And why we held it is to see how we can continue supporting your ministry in ensuring that we have more of our agroecological and organic products on the market. We believe in Buy Uganda, Build Uganda, and we know that in Uganda, one of the things that we thrive in is our very rich and healthy foods that are produced agroecologically, but also organically. Without much ado, because there's somebody who has bigger shoes that I can't fit in, I'd like to invite our chairperson so that he can invite the Honorable Minister to give us her remarks.
Honorable Minister, all of you present, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, we really have treasure. We have treasure in this country, and that is the diversity of food that we are producing naturally. Yesterday, or the other day, no, yesterday, I was listening to one of the youth from Ethiopia. She was presenting their experience across there under the Yalta program, and they have acidic soils. So they have to apply lime to make the soil suitable for agriculture. In many cases, we don't need that in Uganda. So we are gifted, indeed gifted by nature. So I think it's our time, it's our role, all of us present now, to turn around our fortunes and benefit from the rich diversity of food that we have and produce as a country. Honorable Minister, it's my honor and a privilege to invite you to come and address the congregation here present. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our board chair. I expected the Ministry for Agriculture to be present, but if there is any, I honor you because you started this and our part is the marketing part. Now the production and the productivity and the rest of it is under Minister of Agriculture. How Minister of Trade comes in because it's now an expo. An expo means you are showcasing what you want the population to consume, both locally, regionally, and internationally. My name is Harriet Ntabazi, the State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperative, but particularly overseeing trade of this country at all levels. I want to thank my sister. My sister did a lot of work to explain to me what PELUM is trying to do. She came with a very huge team of ladies. And I don't know how they planned it. They said, let's go as a team of ladies. First of all, we are late. We've not communicated on time. And if we send there a gentleman, she may tell us of her programs, because I had very many. But the team of ladies who came, very young ladies, younger than my generation, I said, no, I cannot let them down. Let me go and bless the function. So, Mr. Chairperson, I came here because of the pressures of these girls and the building of the woman, because this is where we are heading. The government of Uganda has put the woman forward, has put the woman to showcase our mandate, to show that we can deliver. That's why you see the Vice President, the Prime Minister, the Speaker of Parliament, and all the ministers, almost those huge ministries that you can talk about, including health, energy, and now trade. I'm here to showcase the mandate of a woman. And I want to tell Ugandans that a woman can manage. I want to thank the representative who came from the Netherlands team, who has partnered with PELUM to fund this expo. It is really immense, and I'm so excited. When I entered here, I thought I would find 2-3 people. I first saw the tents outside. I said, now where is the exhibition? Where is the expo? When we talk about an expo, indeed, it is because most of the products that I've seen around are digital. You see, an expo speaks for itself. It's not like a trade fair where you parade products and then speak for them, and then show this and show that. Of course, you've done a little bit of mixing, but there is some component of expo that I've seen, like the Dubai Expo that we just recently did. And this is the way to go, because the world is now turning into e-commerce. We are digitalizing trade, and we are moving a different direction according to the WTO rules, where I participated as the vice chairperson. And I want to tell you, even COVID-19 being seen as negative, for us as trade, it has done us a very great job because it has trained a lot of our young people to market online. It has trained a lot of people, even old people, who could not move to town to order online, to order on phone. Call, pay man on phone, and your goods are delivered. As simple as that. And it has also built trust into people, more especially those ones in the market, to give good quality goods to people whom they have not seen. So it is wonderful that really fine, COVID came, but we learned a lot of lessons from it. So I wish really to thank God who has enabled me to be part of this history, the launch of the first ecological market system in Uganda. I'm so grateful. I know we are going to develop many themes that we shall be working on per year, but the theme selection of this year was so perfect and on time. Unlocking the barriers. And when you talk about unlocking the barriers and encouraging participation and building opportunities, oh my God, it's a wide and elaborate theme that we all need to tap into to build our careers and build our businesses and the products that we are boosting. Now, I want to applaud you people, PELUM Uganda, because there are few people who have thought of promoting organic as a product, products from Uganda. Of course, why we became the vice chairperson representing Africa in the World Trade Organization, because of the kind of products that we produce in their organic forms. More especially coffee, tea, cocoa, fruits, vegetables, and all those natural resources that we have in their organic form without adding any genetically motivated products. And of course, at Parliament here, it was a very big debate in the 9th Parliament, in the 10th Parliament partly, whether to go GMO or to remain organic. But of course, we found ourselves in the middle, because the kind of products that we do organic sometimes don't bring money very fast. And they take time to yield. But you see these ones where you've added value, you've added what, you've added this and that organically. I mean, in form of genetically motivated. Within 3 months, if it is poultry, a chick of 3 months, it's now a hen, it's now a cock. But a 3 months chick, organically produced, it is still looking tiny. So the other farmer, the trader, the hotel manager, the whatever, needs supplies very fast. So that's why we went 50-50. Produce the seeds here, but again we need to maintain the organic part of it. So we are between a rock and a hard place, because we need the money, but again we need to maintain the culture. So it is very challenging, and but the way you have come out with the approach of the new model that you have adopted is really amazing, because PELUM, you've developed a model, the PESA Agro Enterprise Marketing model. which is really the key and the target, the approach of the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperative, which we are looking at. So now you are making our work easy as PELUM Uganda, because this one focuses on imparting entrepreneurship skills into farmers and the young people to come up with reasonable and great ideas that will develop our country. And I would like to encourage all farmers and entrepreneurs here to take advantage of this innovative model, because it is a new model on the market, and we need to learn and adopt the best practices to improve into our businesses that we are doing more sustainably, more especially the green business growth and the market access of organic products, both locally and internationally. Now, as government, we need to recognize the efforts of such NGOs. I know the Minister of Trade Industry team is here. You can stand up and these people see you, because we need to open doors for everybody to tap into us. One is still seated? Yes. We need to open doors, because the more we close the doors, the more people will get lost. We need to open doors, and these NGOs and partners get access to government partnership and interventions. So I know PELUM Uganda, we are targeting the micro, small, and medium enterprises. We have not yet gone to large entrepreneurs. Yet the majority of the population, the target population we are looking at, is in the micro, small, and medium production. When you look at the value chain in agriculture, most of the production in the country, Uganda, we are still within the micro production, the small. And that's why the government now has changed approach into the PDM, parish development model, to develop that very person at the smallest village level who has no income but has land. He might have little land but no skills to develop that land. That's the target that government has gone to. And we've started a supply of at least 100 million per parish, and out of more than 10,000 parishes that Uganda has. So we are moving to boost the 39% of the total population which had remained behind in poverty. And I know by the end of 5 years' term, to go into another term, Uganda would have moved to another level. Now, when we look at Uganda, we are one of the leading countries in promoting organic, more especially our target market is in the European Union, the EU market, where we've been given quota-free and duty-free access of the market. Our goods go freely with no charges, with no taxes, with nothing, no barriers. The only thing they are looking at is the quality of the goods that we are supplying. The US market, including through AGOA and other market accesses, and other countries, Japan and others. So, what we are targeting to now, yesterday we met with the ambassador, the new ambassador, the new leader of the European Union, came with a very huge team. He met the president the other time, yesterday met the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. What we are looking at now is partnering with them to form the conformity of quality of goods that their market wants. And they are ready to support us in that. With this initiative, we are going to involve PELUM Uganda on board to make sure that they benefit from this initiative. They are ready to give funding also. Joint together with the Netherlands, we shall move stones and we shall be number 1 instead of number 2 as we've been ranked. If you look at the dollars that the organic production is bringing in Uganda, we are now approximately in the value chain of agricultural exports. We moved from 17.1% to 291 million per annum starting from this financial year. So we have moved, I don't know how many, I don't know which, it's not even twice, it's not doubled, it's more than doubles and tripled. We've gone high. So I want us to join together, and when you look at the recent volumes that we exported, more especially crop limit, we are now moving very, very fast. So I encourage you, because now we are the leading exporter of organic and ranking volumes in metric tons in the whole world, we are leading. Now, there is that, it's still challenging. I know we are going to hit them by the coming of those years. And the crops are easy. Coffee, cotton, cocoa, fresh fruits, dried fruits. I've seen even dried fruits here. Even dried banana I've seen. And we are looking at bad eye chili, vanilla, gummies. Of course, this one is a little bit minimal. Shea butter, shea nuts, and frozen fruits, and all that. So we need to expand on the number of products that we are sending in their organic form. I want to again encourage you. The organic food market consists of sales of organic foods and beverages. We are not only food, but even beverages, including all those drinks that you've added value on. So we need to encourage you to really add a little bit of value to the products that we're producing, and we have expanded the market. Now from the East African renowned market, which was Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, we added Rwanda and Burundi. Now we've added South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has made it a very huge market. Now plus the SADC market and the COMESA market, now we are hitting the African Continental Free Trade Area. Uganda will shine. And I know out of the countries now that have registered, we have enlarged and we've gone to more than 2 billion people of market. So we shall not only stop there. We are targeting even Germany, we are targeting France and all those markets. So the establishment of African Continental Free Trade Market, which government has tapped into, is a huge potential for us for export opportunities for the micro, small, and medium entrepreneurs. It is therefore important to note that this capacity building framework that PELUM Uganda has built using the PESA agro-entrepreneur market model to support the smallholders and the SMEs is in line with the National Development Plan 3 and the Vision 2030. We know 2040, which identifies Uganda strategic opportunities for positioning to harness trade through including the youthful population, which is the third largest in the world, the rapid urbanization, and the strong comparative advantage in agriculture and mineral development that we have. So I want to really applaud you again and again and again. Now, among the achievements that the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperative have made is the Ministry, through Uganda Export Promotion Board, has launched the Export Readiness Program in 2017, which is the main goal for preparing and improving export performance of the SMEs. And this one was to respond to the level of exports that the countries comparative and involvement of everybody through the National Export Development Strategy. So this one has already been launched and it is in place. The Ugandan economy is premised under this, and of course, you know very well, we've moved a very big sector in manufacturing, value addition, which we are looking at, processing, which we are looking at as number one. Yesterday in a cabinet, the president was comparing us with other countries. If we channeled our mind into value addition, we would move as fast as possible. Fine, production is needed, but value addition is the best to move a country forward. Now, the ministry is creating an enabling environment, the private sector, more especially putting up policies that will help the private sector move forward. You know very well, Uganda is premised at boosting the private sector. In fact, it is the drive of the economy. So we put in place policies, including trade policies, cooperative policies, licensing and other policies and acts in place. So those ones are in place. In addition, the ministry works closely through the district commercial officers and other ministry agencies and private sector to organizations to boost and develop SMEs. The government of Uganda has recently disbursed 200 billion shillings to help the micro, small and medium entrepreneurs to recover from the COVID stress that we are in. This money is still DB. We need to go and tap into it and add on the little capital that we have. Of course, that one adds on the myoga and other monies that government has put in place through SACCOs. The setting up of the stop border posts to boost businesses at the border is paramount. We've put in place markets at the borders. In December, the president is going to open the one of Mpondwe, Bwera Mpondwe. We are putting one in Bunagana. The one of Goli is finished. We've constructed the one of Malaba and Busia. We are moving steadily to make sure that your products and my products move to the market neighboring. We're working on roads, more especially in our neighboring countries, in Congo, to make sure that those people who didn't roads get them, the infrastructure development. So we are really trying a lot. We are reducing on the cross-border barriers in terms of taxation through URA and collaborative companies in other areas. We have put in place the standard that you've seen, that you've been talking about. The one standard, one East African standard, that if a product is undergoes checkup or maybe verification under UNBS of Uganda, then it is not subjected to other conformities in other countries. That is very, very important. If a country like South Sudan or Kenya verifies a product, then you just enter the market without any further verification. Because that would be now double payment, triple payment in every country you do what you go to. This is a very good initiative that the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives has put in place, and it has started moving. So what I'm encouraging you is to produce quality goods which we shall supply in quantities and supply them consistently without breaking the market, because that's what the market needs. If you produce an onion today of this size, maintain the size and maintain the amount of onions you're supplying and the period through which you're supplying. So that is what our target is. There is a lot we are doing which I never wanted to go into, because if I talk about trade and agricultural trade, what we are promoting on our market, 80% is our products, fresh products, edible products, liquid products, and all products, edible. They are the major ones that are selling Uganda. So, if I started comparing agriculture with trade, our exports, 80% are on agricultural products. So we want to encourage you, Ugandans who are here, the East African community which has joined us. I'm told Kenya is here. I've just visited Rwanda, who have challenged me with worms and what. I was almost disappearing, because you know how we act on those maggots and what. Yes, these are innovations. Instead of bringing now those GMOs to put into our foods and what, there are worms here, which we need really to exhaust and widen, and so that Uganda goes forward. As I conclude, I reiterate government commitment to facilitate its citizenry to participate in the ease of doing business, more especially using the agricultural organic products and our local products, our culture, our identity that we cherish in. And I want to call upon the international market, call upon the regional market to embrace the culture of Uganda, to embrace the organic and the way we do things in Uganda. If you taste our foods, you'll never admire any other foods in the region. If you tasted our foods, you will never admire any other foods in Africa, because Uganda is the pearl of Africa. I thank you so much, and for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Let's give a round of applause to the Honorable. It is an honor. The commitments we have had from the Minister are very clear from the government. But Honorable, before you leave, I'm going to request the PELUM team to actually first bring us the Facilitator's Guide. The Facilitator's Guide, this was one of those, the PSG, Chariton talked about, Namoza. As you're launching it, this is the participatory guarantee systems to the farmers. Honorable, you're going to endorse it as a way of confirming that indeed you have launched this first great Agroecological Market Systems Expo. And thereafter, we shall have others. All right, let's have the markers, and the Honorable can sign on it. Chariton, please come up as well. So with all the words you've said, Honorable Minister, we need to put pen to paper to those very words you've actually said. You're going to speak on that side. There is a microphone there with Josephine. Okay.
So, today the 26th of October 2022. We are privileged, and I am privileged, to officiate on the launch of the first Ecological Market Systems Expo, which has brought out the guide, the facilitator's guide, which is going to be the key guide to all the facilitators who are going to move out there, and which has shown all whatever is needed in terms of marketing, the quality control, and what is required on the market, both regionally and globally. So I'll do this for God and my country. I'll therefore append my signature as the minister in charge of trade, industry, and cooperatives of this country, so that everybody emulates this.
Thank you so much, Honorable. We're very gratified. In the same way, allow me to request the board chair to sign, the board chair to endorse it as well.
Let's clap for the board chair. Is going to.
Dr. Christopher Cheswa. Let me request the band to equally endorse it as a development partner.
Okay, our partner, please. You should, you should. You put in money, you should own it. A big hands of applause to.
And let me request Kriston Namoza equally to endorse it, to append the signature there.
Namoza is here. Charity, Chariton. That name is a little bit.
You forget your brother.
Chariton, please, with all the honor, sign and endorse our guide, a facilitator's guide. A big hands of applause for him.
That said, thank you so much, Honorable.
So,
and for purposes of archive, I'm going to request our team to give you the books that you can hold. All of you hold those books. Can I request the PELUM team to bring forth the books? And we can all hold those books, the board chair, Bent, Chariton, and Josephine.
So I therefore declare this expo, the agroecological, the first agroecological market system expo launched. And
round of applause.
It's going to be a yearly event, every year, year in, year out.
Thank you so much, Honorable. So let's first take a group picture with a book. Let's first take a group picture with a book. A group picture with a book. The team from the Ministry of Trade to join. Mama, please come too. Okay. Okay, we're now ready. Let's take that moment. And it's done. Thank you. Madam Honorable, before again you leave, we have another handbook of the agroecology production, to which I want to request you again to launch. Let me request our team to take away the placard of the first book, the handbook. Let me have another placard to be endorsed at the same time. Yes, let's wait a bit. We have the other one endorsed at the same time, that we do this at once. You're going to bear with us, so let me give you another handbook. Yes, just briefly. So, Honorable, this other handbook is in a consolidation of information from the different sources on agroecology and basic production practices, and it aims at impacting the knowledge to the agripreneurs, especially the youth, that can also be used by one intending to implement, facilitate, or train agroecology farming. So this is the handbook, briefly giving information on the 10 elements of agroecology and the link for the detailed information on the elements of food agriculture organization. Kindly append the signature upon it that we have this equally launched. And we all clapped that were there when she was signing. Thank you so much, Honorable Ntabazi Harriet. Let me request the board chair as well to endorse it, Dr. Christopher Cheswa. Thank you, board chair. Let me request a Bent to endorse on behalf of our development partners. Bent, you better get used to this. We're still signing quite a lot. Thank you so much. And let me request that Josephine, on behalf of PELUM, to equally sign upon it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it a round of applause. Of officially launched the handbook on the agroecology production. Round of applause to that. Can we have the handbooks to the agroecology as well? We take the picture. Okay, we get closer to it. Let's get closer to it. We need more books for the team. The PELUM team, can we get more handbooks? Handbooks, please. Chap, 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 chap. We want to thank the team that came from the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Thank you so much. This entirely needs your support. All these conversations can only be expedited if the government and the political will gives us the push as agroecologists, practitioners. Thank you so much. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of this launch. It's officially running. Thank you so much, the board chair. Thank you so much, the representatives from the ministry. It's quite an honor. We are now going to have our lunch. It's 1 p.m. I love time, and it's time for lunch, yeah? So you're just going to pass by the registration desk, get your coupon, and then we can go have lunch. Thank you so much, Honorable. Thanks so much for coming. Honorable, before you leave, there is a gift. There is a gift. Hey, there is a gift to appreciate the Honorable Banange. Media, don't leave this. This is this is PELUM appreciating you, Honorable Minister. This is PELUM appreciating you. It is indeed an ambush. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The team, okay. That is entirely ecological products that are in there. Very organic and very, very Ugandan. Ladies and gentlemen, to the participants, those who are down and the ones who are up, let's pass by the registration desk. Let's pass by the registration desk, get your coupon, and let's go have lunch. And we shall return at exactly 2 p.m. See you after lunch.
economy. We developed a method